Hey everybody, ronarray here, and as you know, prices for endgame equipment are pretty high at the moment. So in this video, I want to showcase a step-by-step guide how you can craft body armor that is worth around 200 divines. This armor would work very good for Slayer builds, such as my Frostblade Slayer, Lightning Strike Slayer, or Frenzy of Onslaught. It can also work for some other classes, such as Warden, Berserker, or Juggernaut in some cases. I'm going to walk you through all the steps from the base item to the finished endgame armor that you will be able to use. Check out the timestamps for particular steps as usual, and let's go. The only little thing that I want to mention here is pretty much that craft could be very expensive, because some of the steps will require a lot of attempts. You still will be able to craft it for lower prices compared to what you currently have on market. However, if you don't have enough currency, I don't really recommend to attempt it. But for endgame items, such situation is pretty usual. So let's go to the craft itself. So first off, the things that you will need to do is pretty much to acquire the base. As the base, you can use Conquest Lamellar with around 86 item level. If you can get higher quality like 25 or 27, it should work just perfectly for you. But if you don't, you can just stop and use a basic 20% quality base. So after you got the base, you pretty much need to roll it for physical damage reduction or for spell suppression. Since physical damage reduction is pretty much a physical modifier, you can just use Harvest Craft with a reforged rare item with random modifiers including a physical modifier until you'll get it. So as you can see from one click I'm already getting it, but the tier is not high enough. So usually just re-clicking can bring you a high enough tier pretty fast. Sometimes you can even get like suppression in the process too. But usually you just need to click that way. It's also pretty cheap compared. And you're going to receive some physical bonuses here and there just while you're clicking. Amount of clicks is very questionable, but generally it shouldn't be too many. And as you can see, I already rolled it here. So I have 8% additional physical damage reduction on the item. There's also a lot of additional modifiers, so perfectly before fracturing, we need to lower amount of modifiers. Since we're going to use a fracturing orb, perfectly we need to have only 4 rare modifiers. To pretty much hit it, we can use Orb of Annulment, and right now we have like one less prefix. And there is an option, you can just lock suffixes and pretty much score it, so that way it will be easier. Or you can risk it and click again. So for example, right now I have 4 modifiers, and that's a perfect base to fracture. So right there, you pretty much just need to click it with Fracture Orb. You need at least 4 modifiers, and there's a chance that modifier that you need is going to be locked. I currently have 4 options here, and we can pretty much just click it. As you can see, the wrong modifier got fractured. It means the base is bad and we need to get rid of it. So you can just sell it to vendor, for example. And you can just start from the scratch. Please keep in mind that Fracture Orb is pretty expensive, it costs about 7 divines, so maybe it could be better to just pay 18 or 20 divines and get the base that is already fractured. However, you can pretty much try your luck here, and usually you have like 1 to 4 chance to fracture it, because it's kind of the same chance for all modifiers. So after you already fractured your base, you need to start clicking it with Essence of Horror, because Essence of Horror is going to give you reduced extra damage from critical strikes per endurance charge. So generally you just need to hit reduced extra damage from critical strike chance and spell suppression. Keep in mind that that part could be expensive as well, because you will click a lot of essences and hitting spell suppression is not an easy job. There's not a lot of changes, and you can just keep clicking until you will hit at least some kind of spell suppression. Perfectly it should be tier 1, but you can pretty much proceed even if you will have like tier 2 or any bonuses like that. However, considering the huge price of the craft, I would settle only with tier 1 in such situation. So, as you can see, I finally hit chance to suppress spell damage. It's tier 1, so it's perfectly working for us. However, prefixes in that item are full, and that's an issue. So, to fix that issue, we pretty much need to annul the item, but we can't use a normal annul orb, because there will be a big chance to just hit a suffix. That way, we just need to add Syrian Exarch influence, and you can pretty much just click it with any bonus like that. And after that, you can use Eldritch Orb of Annulment. If Syrian Exarch is dominant, remove a prefix modifier. That's a very nice step here. So we can just click it, and we're going to lose one prefix. This is just perfect for us. Right now, we can also remove more prefixes that way if we need. Right now, instead, we will need to use a Harvest Craft. So right now the process will be very simple. We are going to lock with our body armor, we are going to lock our suffixes. So you can just craft suffixes cannot be changed. And this is your best option. So currently just go here and craft suffixes cannot be changed. After that, you can just go here and reforge your item with a life modifier. So here it is, for example. As you can see, our prefix is not that good, and we need to continue doing it. So generally, it can take a little more time, depends on the situation, and maybe you will need to reroll it at least sometimes. Sometimes your prefixes will be full, and in that situation, we need to go back. We need to go back here and remove the prefix with Eldritch Orb of Annulment again. That way we can pretty much just continue doing the same approach until we will hit a tier 1 life. That's what we are currently trying to get. So for example, right here there's a very good craft. I received maximum life, armor, and increased armor and evasion together. It's making body armor a very decent option because it has a lot of armor together with evasion rating and also have a tier 1 life. You can just stop at that moment. However, if we would have one open prefix, and there's definitely a chance for it, we could continue and do it a little different way. So here's another example that I currently used, and it just rolled maximum life together with armor and evasion rating. If you have an open prefix, you can pretty much just stop at that moment and just craft like life percentage, and it's just going to work, well, just fine. However, there is a chance that it's not what you really like. In that case, we are going to use a Veiled Orb to make our body armor even better. So when our Veiled Orb is ready, we pretty much just need to block suffixes again, so we are rolling suffixes cannot be changed. And right now we just need to click it with Veiled Orb. There is a chance that any kind of prefix is going to be eaten. It could be life, it could be armor, or suffixes cannot be changed. So let's see which one will go. And as you can see, it worked kinda alright. So right here we just need to unveil it. And there's a different approach based on what you want on your body armor. So if you want to get like a percentage increased maximum life and mana, you need to just block chance to avoid elemental elements. And if you want to get elemental elements avoidance, you can pretty much just block increased life and mana. So that's how it currently works. Generally, I think that body armor would be nice with avoidance. So I'm just going to block increase maximum life and maximum mana. And after that, I'm going to unveil it. So as you can see, I have chance to avoid elemental elements and chance to avoid being stunned, which is a very nice setup. I'm clicking it, and at that moment, item is complete. If you want it vice versa, so you want increase maximum life to be up there, you can pretty much just block avoidance and then unveil increase maximum life. So it doesn't matter what you're choosing, anyway, your body armor is going to be very good. So right here, if you will fail that step, so if, for example, your Unveil is going to eat life instead, you just need to repick it and start from the moment when you're blocking suffixes and reforging this harvest. However, I think that body armor ended up very nice. We just need to get 22% chance to suppress spell damage. It probably takes a few divines to click it. I could be a little more lucky with it, but I think right now it's working. So it also will be important to recraft, and I have 35% chance to avoid elemental elements, which is very nice. And I will need to recraft percentages for maximum life too. So right now we can just price check it. So when we are just checking the armor itself right now, and just using our numbers here, so we have a perfect avoidance, we have all the possible clicks. Unfortunately, there is none of them on the market. If we will lower avoidance a little, like to 32, there's only one like for 2 mirrors. That's a very strong body armor, and as you can see, people are pretty much trying to sell it in almost all cases for very big prices. But genuinely, even considering it's not really showcasing me a lot of options, if we will go on offline, most of them should cost around 200 divines. So as you can see, there's one for 160, but it's been like 12 days ago, and I'm not sure that the guy even playing right now. So with current prices, it should be around 200 divines in my opinion, maybe a little more, maybe a little less. As you can see, there's also an option for 300, but I think that's a little too much. If I would sell that one, I would probably aim for 250 or maybe even 220. But generally, as you can see, the body armor is literally close to perfect because it has suppress, physical damage reduction, reduced extra damage from critical strikes per endurance charge, maximum life, chance to avoid elemental elements, and increase maximum life too. It's really similar to the one that I'm currently wearing. The only thing that's kinda changed that I have like increased maximum life and lower avoidance just crafted. Otherwise, it's working very good, and I think it's pretty much the worthy craft because that body armor could be amazing for any Slayer build in the current game. And to avoid buying it for 2 mirrors, you can pretty much craft it yourself. So that's been my detailed guide how to craft body armor for Slayer or other charge stacking builds. Thank you very much for watching it. Feel free to subscribe for more RPG content, and see you next time. ronarray out.